Morning and welcome to the big story. So, PNP candidate for Southwest St. Anne, Danishka Williams, is calling for the reinstatement of the office of the Political Ombudsman due to alleged sabotage of her campaign materials. Despite proper erection, her poster boards have been repeatedly removed or destroyed, which she believes undermines democratic principles and fair campaigning. Ms. Williams emphasizes her commitment to transparency and dignity and a peaceful campaign. We have her this morning as our guest in the Big Story segment. Good morning, Danishka, and how are you today?
Hi, good morning, Richie. Good morning to the listeners. I am doing good for the most part. How are you?
Not too bad myself. We are happy to have you on with us. I note that we are of like mind in this call for the reinstatement of the Political Ombudsman, especially as we're nearing general elections. Can you, first of all, Danishka, provide us with some more details about the incidents of what you call sabotage and the circumstances surrounding them in that constituency down there in St. Anne?
Okay, so I am one of the last candidates that the party has installed for this election cycle that's to come. So I was named a candidate in December. So being that the election will be this year, I know as a marketer myself that it would be very important to focus heavily on name and face recognition. Mm-hmm. Right. So while we're doing the door-to-doors and stuff like that, on the ground, meeting the people, I know it was also very important for me to ensure that those who I can't meet, they can meet me, whatever ways are possible. So social media and other forms of communication. Right. So mm-hmm. I ensured that we put boards across the constituency. Now I know it's within our right to do so at this moment. You know, I've spoken to the General Secretary of the party, and it's within our right to do so right now. Mm-hmm. Other candidates have done it on both sides, so I know it's not out of line, you know. So I've put the boards up right across the constituency. So once you enter the constituency, you see me from any angle you choose to enter from. So mm-hmm. if you enter from Gibraltar, you enter from over Borough Bridge, anywhere you enter the constituency from, you see me, have the boards up, right? Some of them are 4x8, so they're big. Mm-hmm. No, that is like the size of a plyboard, pretty much. Yeah, the 4x8. Yeah, they're
huge.
So, mm-hmm. Some of them are really big. Some are 4x4, some are 2x2.
Okay,
right? Because as I said, I'm a marketer, and I know how important it is for name and face recognition. So that was really important to my campaign and to me. So anyways, they were up. I had an incident where a couple were taken down on the Borough Bridge side of the constituency. I reached out to my opponent, sent him a message. I said, hey, some of my boards are taken down. You know, I don't appreciate it. I don't like this style of politics. It cannot be what we're about. He gave me a call. He said, look, I'm in England. I would never, you know, I'm not about that. I don't support it. I'm going to do some research and get back to you. He never got back to me, but it is what it is. No, I did a video, I shared it on TikTok, and then we moved on. Mm-hmm. No, he had an event on Easter Monday where he booked a whole barrage of artists, which is good for the culture. You know, I believe in supporting the culture, embracing the culture. So he had a big event. He calls it a carnival. Mm-hmm. So Spice was the headline act. He had Tommy Lee, Skeng, and so on.
Yes.
So a lot of persons said to me, you know, you should go to the event. It's a constituency event. It's not the MP birthday party. And I said, boy, I know it's the MP's event. So I'm not going to impose and go and for anybody to feel as if it's war. Mm-hmm. You know, because I know those things are sensitive as well. So I made sure I was nowhere near that event.
But if you were invited, you'd have gone. It sounds like what you're saying.
Yeah, man, if I was invited, of
mm-hmm.
course.
Okay.
So the event was on Monday, Easter Monday.
Yes.
And the Tuesday morning, I got calls, several calls from constituents that the boards were taken down. So I said, okay, are they on the floor? So we can put them back up. No, none are there. None are in sight. So I said, oh, that's ridiculous. So I had a meeting in the constituency on that day. I drove up. I mean, I'm in St. Anne. I live in St. Anne. So I drove up to the constituency. And Richie, when I say all the boards from one side, so I border northwest, which is Senator Gabriela Morrison. So when you pass leaving Brownstown and you enter into Gibraltar Division, all the boards that started there going up to where the event would have been held, every single one of them were taken down. It's about 18 of them. 3 of them were 4x8. So for anybody to tell me that it was not deliberate, you'd be taking me for a fool.
I want to ask.
Because it was all of them.
Yeah, wow, that must be quite upsetting. I mean, obviously, a lot of money.
It's all leading to where the event was held.
Yes.
So of course, it leaves me to make an assumption. Now, I can't say for certain that any one person took it down, but I do know my investment in it. I do know what it took in terms of energy, effort, and financial cost.
Yes.
To get them up, right? So there's the designing of it. Luckily, I can do my own designs, so that wasn't a cost. But to have them printed, that was a cost.
Yeah.
Right? To have them transported to the constituency was another cost because they weren't printed in the constituency.
And then have them erected.
To have them erected,
yeah.
It wasn't just to have somebody put them up. I had to hire a truck as well. I had to pay the truck per hour, plus pay the individual putting them up. So I know to take them down, one man couldn't have done it.
That must have been so upsetting. Now, let me ask you, permission. Did you? I know that the municipal corporation makes money from these billboards being put up. You had those permissions all taken care of? Because
I don't know about no.
Okay.
No, I have no communication with the municipal corporation.
Oh, okay. Well, I know, for instance, in Kingston, as someone who has put on a number of events.
I know that's
myself.
Events. So yes. I know if you're having an event, I know it's done.
That is something
regarding politics. No.
Yeah, that is something that you might want to get a little bit more information on. But
I did ask. I did ask. I did ask.
Okay.
And I don't have any confirmation that I should have.
Yes.
And I do believe that if it was done improperly, the corporation would have reached out to me.
Because I'm wondering whether or not these boards may very well be at the municipal corporation's office. Because
even if they are, right? My phone number is on every single board.
Right.
So even if they are, the proper thing to do then would have been to call. My social media handle is on every single board. Right? So if that's the case, they do know how to get to me.
Yeah.
Other boards are also up right across the constituency. Not just mine, but JLP boards are up. So if that's the case, we're going to have bigger issues right now.
Now,
because I wouldn't be the only candidate to have boards up across the island.
Understood. Do you really believe that your opponent has anything to do with it, or do you believe it's just some persons who just maybe got carried away?
As I said, because I know what it took to get them up.
Yes.
I was clear. I don't want them low. I want them put up high. And for anyone who follows me on social media, there are many times that I'm entering the constituency that I share a short video of one of the boards, and it's usually the one by Friendship. There's a community called Friendship in the constituency. So it's usually right there. I share a video, entering the constituency. If it's raining or if there's like a beautiful sunset or something like that, I'll share it.
Yes.
But you'll always see one of my boards in the background, right? As a landmark.
Right.
So, I did reach out to my opponents because I'm that type of candidate.
Okay.
I'm not cantankerous. I'm not aggressive, but I would say, if there is an issue, I will message you, and I'll say, hey, this is what's going on, so that you are clear on how I feel, you are clear on my position, and you're not caught off guard.
What was his reaction?
Right? Well, he called me and he said, boy, I was so busy with the party, I didn't even notice it. But we're not going to make light of the situation. So that was a no-no for me. I told him I was very upset about it, and pretty much the call was short.
Mm-hmm.
But I did send him a message. He did call me, and I didn't buy what he was selling, because, as I said, it's not something one person could have taken down.
Mm-hmm.
There couldn't be one angry individual from any side. Couldn't have been. It had to be deliberate.
Mm-hmm. And especially as you mentioned that they were put quite high up on these posts.
And it was Easter Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it was the municipal corporation, it was Easter Monday.
Yeah. How are your supporters reacting to this? And how difficult is it to keep them now?
I am clear we're not going back to 1980. So no matter what it is that they do, I am clear that that's not where I am going. I'm 31. I'm a young candidate.
Mm-hmm.
My mother has told me about 1980,
right?
Because she was working in that election. So I have an idea, and I am very clear we're not going down that road.
Mm-hmm. So
my
Danishka,
supporters are clear of my position.
Okay.
No, whereas my opponent is concerned, I'm not throwing blame at any one person. Again, I just want to reiterate that point.
Yeah.
But what I can say is my supporters are clear on my position.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say even I'm clear on his, because I'm vocal about it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going down that road.
Okay.
He has not been vocal about it.
Well,
so whereas he has said to me, at this point, the second time around, it carries no weight. First time, I said, all right, cool. Second time around, carries no weight at all.
So these developments have now made you utter a call for the reinstatement of the office of the Political Ombudsman. Do you believe that having that office operational now would be helpful in situations like these?
I mean, it gives us someone to report to.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you have an issue with the boards being up, it gives you someone to report to. I have an issue with the boards being taken down, and in what I would call unlawful circumstances, I have someone to report to. But having it just up in air, there is no office. And there's several other issues that have taken place across several constituencies. We have Dr. Andre Horton, who had his issues with his boards being taken down. We had Stacey Knight had an issue in her constituency recently. We have Paul Buchanan, who's running against the Prime Minister, who has issues in his constituency. So candidates are having serious issues, and the absence of the ombudsman, that's a serious problem.
Mm-hmm. How would you respond to critics of yours who might say, well, your call for the political ombudsman to be reinstated is a sort of a partisan or opportunistic move?
I don't respond to all criticisms. So I think let's just get that clear. We're not going to respond to all, because some people respond just for responding sake, and I would use that. I'd view it as just that. Mm-hmm. Right? We have a real issue. This is a real issue, and it's not something I'm facing alone. The party leader spoke about it last night at in Southeast St. Ann when we presented Dr. Kenneth Russell as a candidate. He spoke about it because it's a genuine concern for candidates. I am a female candidate. I'm a young female candidate. I am 31 years old. Mm-hmm. Right? I wasn't born in the 80s. There are certain things that I do not want us to go back to. There are certain things that I do not want to be introduced to me.
Right.
And if this type of behavior is introduced to me, there needs to be an office that we report it to. Cannot be that there is no office that you report it to. Do
you get a sense that the party is also with you on this call? And They are. Any moves being made whatsoever in terms of that call to take it a step further? Because
well, in terms of the next steps, the party would have to to decide how they move.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I leave that to the GenSec, the party leader, and the core team. For me, I focus on Southwest St. Ann and what's happening there.
Right.
I keep my politics local. There are some bigger issues in my constituency that I really want to focus on. So, I sent out 2 press releases yesterday, but this is the one that the media really carried. Mm-hmm. The bigger issue for me is we have a health center in Calderwood that was closed because it was infested by mold. Oh. I haven't heard my opponent speaking on it. I've written a release before that was carried in the media, so this would have been my second release on the same issue, because it's closed and the residents, they have an issue because they have to travel from Calderwood down to Alexandria, and they would have preferred to stay in Calderwood, which is what they're used to. They've been doing that forever, so that's what they're used to. They want to do that. So I'm calling on the Ministry of Health and Wellness to provide mobile clinics for the residents in Calderwood.
At the very minimum. Yes.
Bare minimum.
Yes.
Right? I know we need a new space, but I do know that it's not something that can happen overnight.
Right.
So in the interim, we can't say the people should. We have to be fair. We have to be fair to the citizens of this country, and I do believe in the interim mobile clinics is not far-fetched. It's not impossible. I do believe they can do that. They can provide it to the residents.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a good start.
All right.
So there's several things that I want to talk about, not posters. I feel like that's making the campaign very frivolous. And there's so many things that I want to focus on, so many issues in this constituency. There's housing development. My constituency has no housing development. My opponent promised Alexandria Estate in 2020. They put up a big sign and said houses are here. I've driven around. Houses are not here. The development is not there. Right? So there's so many issues, real issues, that I want to speak about.
Well,
I'm not being tied down with this.
Yeah, well, it's part of the par for the course, in all honesty.
Yeah.
But and we have seen that you have been doing some work. Well, we have seen a number of videos and so on that you've posted, and obviously with your interactions with the constituents. What message do you want to leave with us this morning, as we're pretty much past the time allotted? But what message do you want to leave both for your supporters and for your opponents in terms of the commitment you have to transparency and dignity and a peaceful campaign, Danishka?
Well, from inception, I've been clear that I am committed to a very peaceful campaign in Southwest St. Anne. It's a constituency that I do believe I will win. It's going to take a lot of hard work, dedication, commitment from myself and my team. It's been done twice before, and I do believe 3 times a charm. So I'm here to ensure that we deliver this for the people of Southwest St. Anne. It's not just a victory for myself. There are persons who need real change, real change in the constituency. And I've been working with them. I've developed a manifesto. I'll be launching my campaign soon so they can understand the plans that I have in place for them. Because there are things that low-hanging fruit that I will be picking for them when I become their member of parliament. Mm-hmm. So I do want my constituents to understand that change is coming. Change is very close by. Change is one election away. So I want them to hold firm and know that it's going to be a peaceful election on my end.
Okay.
Campaign will be peaceful on my end, and I do ask them to maintain that because my voters, my supporters, they represent me as well. And whatever they do will be viewed in the same way I am viewing this as my opponent and his side of people. It will be viewed as me. So I do ask that they maintain